Alright, we're going to do another trig example for number 3, example 3, of antiderivative of non-power functions. We have the antiderivative of 1 plus tangent of tangent squared x dx. So again, if you're just thinking, okay, well the antiderivative of 1 is x, what's the antiderivative of tangent squared? You don't really want to think about it that way, because if you go back through these rules that we looked at, there really is no antiderivative of tangent squared. Which is why step 1 is so important, which is to convert this into a form that you can anti-differentiate. So, how can you do that? Well, this looks like a trig identity because it involves a trig function that's being squared, and it has a 1 in it. A lot of times that alludes to the fact it's a trig identity. This identity basically just says that 1 plus tangent squared equals secant squared. You can quickly convert that using that trig identity, and now we have the integral of secant squared dx. And that is one of the rules we learned. The antiderivative of secant squared is just tangent of x plus c. So now for step 2, we can easily anti-differentiate that. Antiderivative of secant squared is tangent of x plus c. And there's really no simplification to do. We can check by differentiating. If we take the derivative of tangent of x, we get secant squared, and we know from our identity, Pythagorean identity, secant squared is equal to 1 minus tangent squared x. And again, derivative of c is 0, so that's why it turns to 0 there. That's it for that example. It's really easy. It just illustrates that a lot of times when you take the antiderivative of something, you have to simplify it first using a rule or some other algebraic manipulation. If you have any other questions about this example, let me know.